of, well, these are engineered feet.
So there's other people around the world that have old rocks they found on the ground that kind of sort of resemble the head of a dog. Awesome.
Been built.
Always wrong, but still always absolutely sure.
Go nuts on my nuts.
Okay, my friends, this is going to be a treat for all.
Well, thank you, Roger. If we've ever needed a treat, it's now. Let's be honest, 2020 has been absolutely tidy. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Playing a Blinder with me, the Creaky Blinder. Now in these uncertain times, we need a beacon of light. Somebody to restore hope. Certainly to me, and I hope that people like Roger never stop making videos. Because if they did, I'd have nothing to make videos about. I've never really understood what people running and cheesy music has got to do with being inspired. On with the video.
You know, in Mud Fossil University, I have discovered new species, which I call no-toes. We have them a ton of different styles. I just did a video on it.
Oh yeah, how could I forget? No-toes. I made a video about your video where you were talking about them. It's that sort of imaginary dog, wolf type creature. And this rock just happens to maybe, if you squint a bit, kind of resemble the head of a generic looking dog type creature.
And somebody, and when I did, boom, right away, Maureen, a friend, sent me, look into this. This woman has something to say. She gave me an exact time. We're going to go to it. And these are all robots. Now, I have shown the feet of, well, these are engineered feet. Now, they look like a shoe, but there's actually, this is the foot.
Hang on a second, you Roger, me old China teapot. In the last video I made about you, that particular rock, because I remember it, was the head of a no-toe. And now it's suddenly the engineered foot of a fossilized giant robot. Oh crap, I've given away the topic of the video. I haven't said what it is yet.
And the other ones we have, I have another friend, Tish, who has them in every variety of decomposition, and we can look inside them, see how they were built, and they have been built.
Ooh, I've never heard Angry Roger before. I think I like it. Keep going, Rog.
They're constructed, and I will show you this. I'm very sure of what I'm speaking of, and then you can make your own decision, because I'm going to show you the actual evidence.
And I, for one, can't wait to see the evidence. And to be fair to you, Roger, you're nothing if not consistent. Because whatever you're talking about, you're always absolutely sure. Always wrong, but still always absolutely sure. So does that mean he's sure he's wrong, but he's going to say it anyway? Or something else?
Okay, my friends, this is going to be fun. You've seen my no-toes. Now, I have a bunch of other people around the world who have a whole batch of other styles of no-toes as well. Now, we're going to look into Tish's.
Gesundheit. So there's other people around the world that have old rocks they found on the ground that kind of sort of resemble the head of a dog. Awesome.
But the thing I want to talk about is Talos, who was the giant, the first constructed giant robot.
You mean Talos from Greek mythology, with emphasis on the myth part of mythology. Talos, the giant bronze man who guarded the island of Crete by throwing stones at unwanted visitors approaching by ship. After they came over the curve, of course, can't leave that out. And how did he know who was unwanted and who was wanted from such a long distance? That Talos.
Now, he's showing him with wings, I don't know, and it's supposed to be absolutely enormous, and he would throw boulders at ships and sink them.
Good job, we're talking about the same Talos.
And he's absolutely incredibly enormous. I'm going to go into this later in a second. But my point is that the way they defeated him was by taking a bronze bolt out of his ankle. And this is what these coins depict.
Right, Rog, now according to GreekMythology.com, which is a fairly reliable website for Greek mythology, Talos' demise was due to scraping his ankle on a rock. The myth goes that Talos had one vein running through his entire body which carried the blood of the gods, so it's obviously legit, and that he scraped his ankle on a rock and bled out because his ankle was the only weak spot on his incredibly powerful body. But Roger, what you've got to bear in mind that this is mythology, not autobiography.
I'm going to show you the, I'm going to show you why I think this may be true.
Well, of course you are.
Okay, this is my no-toe, and I have other bunch of no-toes here too. Different styles as well. I think I have at least 3, maybe 4 now, and I've shown them. Now, Tish has a different style. She's got this here, which hers eroded differently, and they were in different types of erosion. Mine are just like the guy who just stepped off it. Now, hers are eroded here, but look at this. This is the human foot.
And for those who've not seen any of my other videos about Roger, he is about to enter into Take 2. And for those of you who have not seen any of my other videos about Roger, he is about to spurt forth some good old-fashioned pareidolia. And you must be so jealous of Tish's foot, Rog, because at least it looks a bit more like a foot than yours does.
You see that? The calcaneal, that's the heel bone. All right? From that comes up a strap, a tendon. All right? Now, that tendon goes up to a bone right here. That bone sits on this structure here. This is what she's found. There's that, the heel, and here's the strap. Runs up to the bone which would sit in that cradle and is here. Now, this is the spring assembly, and that is literally constructed. I'll show you. All right, what you have to do is look close and think a lot.
Okay, Rog, I'm looking close. And I'm using my imagination. I mean, I'm thinking a lot. If I think any harder, I'm going to shoot myself.
All right, that's the heel. All right, that's that strap, which there's a saddle here, let's call it.
Still not seeing it, Rog. I thought we were looking at the underneath of a foot. Why? What use would springs be on the side of your foot unless you needed to turn left or right really quickly?
Where the bone would sit down, and I have a bone here. Here it is. Something similar to this.
That's a rock, not a bone.
Would sit down in that cradle, and that's the bone going straight up. Now, there's another bone that lays down on the side, which is you have a tibia and a fibula. The fibula just lays on the side like this, okay? And Tish just has the same thing. There's a side piece that lays on there, and that's the tibia, fibula. And the tibia goes here, and this is the saddle that's on mine.
And they say the art of the imagination is lost. It's a rock. It looks like a rock. I dare say it feels like a rock, which makes it a rock. Pareidolia.
All right, now, and mine are completely intact, absolutely, totally intact. And you can see where the areas in the spots where there was a lot of impact, there's like a smoothness to it when you look at it in the microscope.
Smooth, you say? Under a microscope, you say? Well, I never. You mean a bit like erosion or weathering? Now, in geological terms, erosion is the action of surface processes. So basically, bits not being there now that used to be there because they've either been eroded away or weathered away.
This sort of eroded away, I think, a little bit, but it has all the same arch like we have. It has the same blood supply, exactly identical to a human foot.
Well, at least you're acknowledging erosion, I suppose, but then it would have been very difficult to explain the curve on the underside of that rock without using erosion, wouldn't it? Now, as far as the blood supply to your rock, again, I'm sure you've not heard of the phrase you can't get blood out of a stone because there's no blood in stones, but anyway, that's a different topic altogether. I've got a human foot. In fact, I've got 2 human feet, one at the end of each leg. and neither of mine look even remotely like your Rockfoot. Roger, you big silly goose.
Now, I haven't had that tested for DNA or anything, but you could. You could get drilled deep inside, find the artery, because, I mean, look at this. This is not, I mean, you put some water on there and that's going to turn red just like blood. I'm telling you, blood just lasts forever.
No, it doesn't. Imaginary blood that you find in your rocks may, but real blood doesn't. Imagine if it did. Imagine how many people are buried throughout the world. We'd have a real problem on our hands. We'd have oceans of blood. We'd have gallons of it flowing out of every orifice on the planet. Blood does not last forever.
Now, here's what you want to look at here. This is so incredibly interesting. I spent a ton of time looking at this.
While we're on the subject of incredibly interesting things, Roger, there's something I've been meaning to put to you in the last couple of videos I've done, but I just keep forgetting. I've got an awful memory. I'm getting on a bit. I think I may be able to predict or guess, whichever way you want to term it, what your favourite movie of all time is. Is it Rocky? Huh. Rocky 2? 3? Not any of the Rockies. Well, that's disappointing.
And if you look at these things closely, they're just unbelievable. It's absolutely incredible. That's some kind of a tab. Same thing here. This was built. Somebody built this, but it's biomechanical.
A biomechanical rock? What exactly do you think biomechanics is, Roger? Because for once I actually know what something is. Biomechanics is the study of the function, structure and motion of biological systems, i.e. the human body. So how exactly you can consider a rock to be biomechanical escapes me, but I'm sure you'll explain it.
Alright, you see this gap here? That gap allows this spring to go this way. Well, why would that spring go this way? Because this over here is where the toes are. The toes push up, which lifts this up, rocks this way. You see this? It's got a tab that latches up to here that pulls this in. Think about this carefully. I worked my whole life on little machines like this.
Little machines like what? That's not a little machine, it's a rock with like a circly, twisty bit on the bottom that I happily admit I have no idea what caused it, but I'm fairly sure that it isn't the remains of Talos, the bronze giant fossilized robot guard of Crete. And you want to know why I'm so sure? Because if Roger's allowed to be sure, then so am I. The reason I'm so sure is because Talos is a mythical creature from Greek mythology. So for you to have the remains of something, that something had to first be real.
I'm not kidding you. This is mechanical. This is a mechanical, biologically infused foot.
Hang on a second. I think I can see a fatal flaw in Roger's logic. So he is claiming that this biomechanical rock foot is the remains of Talos, the giant Greek mythological creature, god, call him what you will. Look at the size of it in the hand of the person that's holding it. It looks more like the foot of a toddler than a giant bronze ship-sinking ninja.
And it's not like ours, but it's damn close.
But unfortunately for you, Roger, like everything else on your channel, none of this can be verified by any expert anywhere in the world. And if that is the foot of a giant, it must have been a really, really tiny giant. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you are new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share the video. I'm the Creaky Blinder, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe by order of the Creaky Blinder.